Hello.
Hi,
Today
guys.
we are talking about, what are we talking about today? Oh yeah, how to cut your grocery bill in half. We had a whole bunch of questions last night, so we thought we would go ahead and I hope I didn't just mess something up on Facebook. May have. And answer more questions on your grocery bill. If you guys have questions on your grocery bill, please comment and we will try to answer them for you. Today's video is brought to you by our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, Volume 1, Volume 2, and gluten-free, dairy-free for 40% off our print books, 50% off our digital downloads, and our planner is in stock for those of you, well, not in stock. It's at the printer being printed right now, and it's able to be pre-ordered right now. We estimate December 10th for shipping. About 400 pages, our undated daily planner.
Before we get started, I happen to think of not a question, but a comment somebody made last night as far as the book goes. And she mentioned in there that she loved using our jar mixes. We have jar mixes in the book, and she loved using those for Christmas gifts. So I was just going to remind some of you that have the book, don't forget we've got a whole section on how to make the different jar mixes for cookies or cocoa.
Because when I wrote the book, those were really popular 25 years ago, and guess what? They're coming around again.
So we've got a huge amount of how to do for gift baskets or the jar mixes, and what to do for recipes for those. And that's another thing, like we were talking about last night, buying supplies on sale, the Christmas flour and sugar and all that. You can get that stuff, to make those jar mixes when they're on sale.
Barbara says, Tara, Mike, Jill, and everyone here. The cashier and the meat department gal at my grocery store said, oh, yes, items will go up just after Christmas or worse for 2023.
I was afraid of that.
As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to go do $1,000 shopping haul at the store to stock up because I think we'll make 25 to 50% on our money.
Yeah, because I think
we will.
I think after Christmas it's going to just jump. Like I said last night, they're holding back for Christmas because that's the time the businesses need to sell the most. But then as soon as it's over.
And Tammy says she made the broccoli soup today and the breakfast casserole and the dump cake out of our cookbook. She absolutely loved it. Thank you very much. You. And she also says that here turkeys were 78 cents a pound.
Whoa.
Very good. Very good. All right, Mike, get yourself on there. Get your handsome self on there. And tell them Mike's way to cut your grocery bill in half. Mike has the solution.
He's got the easiest, best way.
I was just saying, take your grocery receipt and cut it in half. But then I said, make sure you keep the half that has the chocolate on it. That's the important part.
Yes.
You have to decide which things to just snip it right in half after the chocolate.
And we got I got this for Mom at the thrift store the other day.
That's my motto.
Cents. I knew that she needed it, so then we can eat it if we need to. I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, how to cut your grocery bill in half. All right, really, it's not rocket science, but a lot of people never grew up with a tightwad mom like me.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing.
Oh.
And don't know how to do these things. So, number one tip, I know we keep saying this over and over and over and over and over and over again, but you have to shop what is on sale. What is on sale? And we got the question last night. And Mike said, you need to reiterate this, Tara, because they don't understand what you were saying. One lady said, so are you saying you only buy what's on sale? Yeah, pretty much. Now, I live in a really, what most people would consider a really small town. For me, it's big compared to other small towns I've lived in. But my town has 3 stores to buy groceries, 2 grocery stores, and Walmart. And here, Walmart's prices are about the same as the sale prices at the grocery store on everything except meat. So what I do is I buy my meat and vegetables, and vegetables and fruits. So I buy my meat and vegetables at the grocery stores when they go on sale. Like just before we came in here, I was eating these grapes right here that were on sale. Okay. Yesterday I bought chicken for $1.97 a pound. I bought hamburger for $2.87 a pound. I got 2 gallons of milk right here for $1.77, and I froze one, and I kept one in the fridge. Last week, let's see, when was this? Or no, this was 6 weeks ago. They had butter on sale for $1.97. I went in and bought the limit of that. They had sodas on sale. I knew that we were going to be having Thanksgiving dinner, so everybody would want some soda, so I got those. We don't normally buy soda. And so what you do is every week, something is on sale every week. So I will go and buy what's on sale plus a little extra and freeze it, like with the meats. Then when it's not on sale, I just go in my freezer and pull it out, and I'm eating at the sale price, so I don't have to pay regular price. And we do that for everything.
Yeah. See, I bought milk today that was on sale. I know that since it went on sale this week, in about 2 weeks or so, they'll have it on sale again.
Yep.
So I got plenty to last me at least that 2 weeks.
Yep.
And with butter, they put butter almost real. You get familiar with your sales ads, and you realize butter, since we've been here, every 2 or 3 weeks, butter goes on sale. Mm-hmm. So we know to get that much and maybe a little bit more to tide us over.
Next tip, get easy recipes, guys. Dining on a Dime Cookbook. This is why we wrote the book, because I realized when I came up with the idea, I was like, people are making such a big deal out of cooking. It is not hard. 4 ingredients, maple glazed chicken. 4 ingredients, the honey glazed chicken, roast, barbecue meatballs, green chili. All of these things are super, super simple to make. You don't have to be going and making your own spaghetti sauce. People think you have to make your own spaghetti sauce and your own bread to save money. That's just not true. And guys, Dining on a Dime cookbooks, they're 40% off right now. We're finishing up our Black Friday / Christmas sale. 40% off for all our print books, gluten-free, dairy-free. It costs about $1, $1.50, depending on how much the flour is in your area, for me to make a loaf of gluten-free, dairy-free bread, as compared to buying it for $7.59 at the store. That is not even close to worth it, and my bread tastes 1,000 times better. I have people comment all the time. They're just totally shocked at how easy it is. But guys, we went through and we used easy recipes that don't take a lot of ingredients, that are normal ingredients. When the book first came out 25 years ago, one of our mottos was, you can eat good without shiitake mushrooms. Shiitake mushrooms were a big thing back then. They lasted about 6 months because nobody wanted to cook with shiitake mushrooms.
Did they even have them in Wyoming?
I don't even know if they even have them in Wyoming. But it's that kind of stupidity that these cookbook people, but these people who teach cooking, it's not practical.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stupid to be using recipes that nobody's going to use.
I watched this gal, a YouTuber, and I was watching her she was going to make like a granola type oatmeal cereal. I am not joking. She used 15 ingredients.
She probably had 30 bowls.
She really did. And they were really expensive ingredients, specialized ingredients. And I've watched her several times, and everything she cooks out of these cookbooks, like these gourmet cookbooks, if they don't have a list of 15 to 20 things, it's like the recipe isn't good. And you know, one thing I was thinking about, I was going to mention, I don't know if I'm off the subject totally, but I'm finding out people are liking like our simple recipes, because I was thinking today how to save money on your grocery bill. And I thought if we take and have chili for dinner, which is an inexpensive thing to have, is chili. What do? Instead of just eating the bowl of chili with maybe some crackers, we start adding sour cream, we add grated cheese, you know, and start piling it on with all these things. And I keep saying, don't always pile this stuff on. First of all, you'll save money, you'll lose weight, and what happens is you get the real flavor of the chili. And I think sometimes people are eating more because doing all these fancy things, you can't get just the true flavor of, like boneless, skinless chicken. People add sauces and all these fancy spices to it because usually that's very, very dry, and you can't get the real flavor.
Okay. So hold on. So it is. Let's see. Faylina says, just wanted to say I made your turkey like how you recommend. 2 ingredients, butter and turkey. In your book one, page 240, there's a typo in the index, guys. For those of you looking for the recipe, it's 240, not 250. I actually like turkey now, and the gravy was amazing.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, because everybody starts adding all
Too
the
much.
Do you know most turkeys, a lot of turkeys, the recipes, they put an orange in, and you put cranberries, and you put
we actually have a recipe with orange in it. It's really good.
with raspberry, and and onions, and they stuff the cavity of that turkey to death with all of this stuff, and you don't get the real flavor of the turkey. You know, you get all the other stuff, and so you can save money. Why put all that in there when you can get still a good flavor?
Yep. All right. Next one is stop throwing. And if you guys have questions, please put them in the comments, and we are going to answer them for you. Mike's pulling them. Mike's in the background. Wave, Mike, so they can see your handsomeness there.
He's there.
There's Mr. Handsome. And he will pull your comments. I also sent you an email, Mike. And put those questions in there, and we will answer them. Next one is stop putting so much food on your plate and then throwing it away.
Oh my goodness. This is kind of a pet peeve of mine, a big pet peeve. I get appalled when I go to somebody else's house to eat, or I go to a potluck or a buffet or out to eat or something, or even like a ladies' women's group, and they have the plates, they pile them. I mean, people actually pile their plates till they're about, 4 to 5 inches deep. As a matter of fact, I think, how can they hold all that food on there? And they're eating away and eating away. And then I sit on these long tables watching these other people, and pretty soon they start pushing their plate out of the way, and it's half full of food still, and they've stopped eating. And so they get up, and it's all thrown away. I've seen families. I've gone to families, big meals with families, and the kids and even the moms and dads fill their plate with food, and then at the end of the meal, everybody gets up and they're scraping it in the trash. Now, I want you to think about this. How often do you scrape a bunch of food in the trash at the end of a meal? You probably do it more often than you realize. And I want you just to kind of watch for the next week or two. Watch when you go someplace to eat, or watch your family, how much of that gets scraped in there. It saves on trash too. I just thought of that. I don't have much trash because I don't scrape stuff away.
I have to tell you something funny. So Jay Moore just came on, and she got an ad for Gucci for our show. There's no irony there, is there?
But you stop filling these plates so full of food and you're throwing half. Okay,
if you're not sure of something, just take a tablespoon or two.
Well, I was going to say, when I go, like at Thanksgiving, at Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, or anything I do, I usually pick up like one small spoon of maybe 4 or 5 things. You can actually see space on my plate when I fill it, and I sit down and I eat it. Well, if I'm still hungry, I get up and go and get another spoonful or two. that's the way you need to eat. You don't just, you're so hungry, you start piling. Train yourself to just make sure there's space between the things you do get on your plate. That'll help you a little bit too.
Lisa says, I've always hated cooking, but you guys make it so simple. Yes, and that's why I wrote the gluten-free, dairy-free edition, because I'm gluten-free, dairy-free, have been for about 10 years. They're 40% off right now, guys. But here's the thing. Everybody kept asking me, Tara, what's your gluten-free diet? I said, I just used my Dining on a Dime cookbook. It was, I mean, I did. I just used this cookbook. And everybody's like, well, but I don't know what to cook dairy-free. So I made it into this cookbook for those of you who are gluten-free, dairy-free. But people make it way more complicated than it has to be.
We keep getting people asking us, well, can you make a diabetic cookbook? Can you make a vegetarian cookbook? Can you make this type of cookbook? And we get more people saying our recipes are so simple that they're easy to adapt for any of these special diets, you know?
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of food for all the different diets in there to use. You know, it's not like you only have 5 recipes for a vegetarian or 5 recipes for diabetic.
Oh, Deborah. She says, rule of thumb at buffets. You can't do this at a buffet, though. She says, take 1 meat, 2 veggies, helpings, and then a dessert, and do what you do at home and don't take seconds. It's easy once you get used to it. Now, why would you go to a buffet and not get seconds?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Deborah. I'm sorry.
But she's right, because...
And why would you waste your wonderful buffet on vegetables?
I know, all desserts. It should all be desserts.
If you guys saw the video with Mike's Jell-O, we had all meat and desserts.
Well, she's right, though, in a sense,
She is
because
right, yes.
when I
That's the
first
problem.
learned this about eating too much and filling your plate up too full was about 50 years ago. And my in-laws would come into town to visit, and they'd always take us out to this place called Fur's Cafeteria, where you would go.
That was so good.
I know, it wasn't it good? You'd pick out what dishes of different foods you wanted, kind of like a buffet.
Millionaire pie.
But you had to pay for each little dish that you bought. We would have a tray, and you would put your stuff on this tray. And some of us would actually stack the dishes. And it was getting to be an art of how you stacked, how many dishes you could stack on this tray. And after doing this 2 or 3 times, I remember one evening sitting there looking, and I felt so guilty because I thought, okay, I ate 3 of the stack of dishes that I bought. And all that money was wasted. And I wasn't the only one. Everyone at the table ate even, you know, did even worse than I did.
You get full fast.
Yeah. And so from that point on, every time I'd go to Fur's, it was hard because it looked so good and you're so hungry, but I would just get me 3 dishes of something, you know, a dessert. They had the best dinner rolls and maybe one other thing. And that's what I would do is do that. And it was hard because it all looked so good, but I would just, so it is, she really does have a good tip. Although I would change the vegetables for all desserts personally, but.
I certainly would. All right. What's next on your list, Mom?
Oh, I didn't know I had a whole list. Well, things like it goes along with eating less and that type of thing. Like I've noticed too, a lot of times when you fix like a cake, you take the pieces are cut so big. I always just cut the pieces in half, sometimes even in a third, and just take a half a piece of cake and not the whole piece of cake. And how does this help you save money? The stuff will last twice as long. You know, you're using half the amount of food. You're throwing away half the amount of food. And so that's how you're cutting your grocery bill in half instantly by doing this stuff. And to make sure you use everything. If your 4-year-old just kind of pulls 2 pieces off her chicken when she's eating it, before dinner, you pull the couple of pieces off and you take the extra bones and boil them and make soup, because instead of her just eat, how many of your family members eat just 2 bites off their chicken leg or something, and then it goes into the trash? What are you laughing at?
I just put a test for, put it up again so Mom can see it. Put a test for the books.
Is he doing stuff behind my
No,
back?
no. He's actually selling books, but it backfired. Just thought it was funny. Sorry.
So, but
I made it really clear that it's on sale.
You did, didn't you? Oh my goodness, Michael. But be sure. And somebody asked last night, I'm so glad she asked this question about what do you do with the mandarin juice, after you make the salad. Use the juices, save that pineapple juice and use it in something and different stuff. We have all kinds of ideas in the book too.
Hold on though. Elaine says, if I buy a clearance uncut cake, it counts as one piece, right?
Yes. But we're always looking for, we kind of do this. I don't know how we get hooked on something.
Well, here's the thing. Notice, okay, all these things, we've been on here 20 minutes. Have we mentioned coupons once?
That's what I was just going to say. We get hung up on what everybody else is talking about or doing. And you've got to just not go with the flow. You've got to get this stuff out of your mind and get rid of your hang-ups that you have as far as food is concerned. For years, coupons was the king, and everybody couponed, and it worked at the time, and it was fine. But then eventually, it didn't work as much. You didn't have the coupons. The grocery stores didn't double them. But people still to this day are asking us about coupons. It's like,
sorry. This is going to be the show that was.
Oh, Michael. Sorry. But, I'm serious here now. You guys are. But, you have to. But everybody still is in the frame of, I've got to do couponing in order to save money. But that's way in the past.
I have maybe used what? Oh, my goodness. Probably in the last 20 years, I have probably used less than 30 coupons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I did a big Cheerio haul last year, and I used about 20 of them then. But
that's the only ones
we don't use coupons because it doesn't save money.
Yeah, it's not practical now. You have to move on to the next.
Oh, he got it. Okay, very good, dear. There you go. Everybody give Mike a hand.
He just was trying to cover up his mother-in-law's face is what he was doing. But now the thing is, everybody's on how do I save money at the grocery store and get the cheapest prices? Like, how do I get a really cheap price at this? Well, I don't get cheap prices like this at my place, where I live. I don't get these cheap prices. Okay, that's not working now. Get it out of your head and start thinking, what can I do? I can't find cheap prices now.
Okay,
so you move
you've
on
already
to the
been
next.
warned that next year they're expecting prices to go up. So, see, now he's just blacking me out. We know. No, we're having light issues, guys. Sorry. But we already know next year. They're already saying prices are going up.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have, now I totally understand some people may not have any extra money. I totally get that. But if you have extra money, instead of spending it at Starbucks on a $10 coffee, use that $10 and go get 5 pounds of chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Don't buy boneless, skinless chicken. Go get the chicken thighs and quarters. You could get 20 pounds of chicken thighs and quarters for $12 here.
Mm-hmm.
That will go. I mean, that would probably get you almost a month's worth of meals.
Yeah, yeah. And so what we're saying, the whole thing about all of this is change your mindset. You're going to have to rethink things and start getting habits in place right now of how to do your cooking, the ingredients you use differently. Like she said, you can't use boneless, skinless chicken anymore. What are some of the other things I just thought of, went out of my head when you were talking about?
Instead of using the boxed broth, use the bouillon cubes. Instead of using cream, like heavy cream, I know this, but for some recipes, it will work to use regular milk with a little extra butter, and it's a lot cheaper. So just look for different substitutes that you could do. If yogurt's on sale and you can't afford sour cream, you can get plain yogurt and use it.
And you'll have to get over the fact that I only like to buy this. I only like this bread. I only like that.
I have to tell you what we're going to do, and you don't know this yet. We're going to go to the store. Let's see. We'll do this next week. before the prices
We're
go
doing a
up.
lot next week.
We're doing a lot next week. See,
I don't know
just
what's
doesn't
going
want-
on tonight. Today,
In
Tara and I,
the name of Jesus.
for all day long, Tara and I, it's just been like, who is having the worst day?
Today has not been the day for you. Mom had a worse day than me, but still.
It's just like, oh my goodness.
We're going to go to the grocery store
Oh, we
and
are.
we're going to get 3 baskets.
Mm-hmm.
So Michael will have to come too. So basket number 1 is going to be the name brand.
Mm-hmm.
Basket number 2 is going to be the store brand. And basket number 3 is going to be homemade. And see how much difference the cost is going to be.
Oh my word. And Mike's out back there fanning the light.
We think the light is overheating maybe.
But you
Would
will
that one work, Mike?
you will have to start, don't get I love Ritz crackers. This is a good example. I love Ritz crackers. Well, I bought me a box of Ritz crackers, and that may be the last one that I'll get for a while. I might buy one more for Christmas, and I'm going to have to just go to soda crackers. I'm not going to die from it. I gave up a lot of different foods that I liked. You have to learn to eat what you can afford is what the bottom line is. And you may not be able to, what you're trying to do is squeeze this big fat ball into a little tiny square box. I'm still going to eat everything I want. I'm still going to eat the healthy, the most expensive, the everything, and that tastes best to me. And I'm going to get that into that box one way or the other. It doesn't work. It's just not going to work. What?
Sorry. I don't know what you guys are on tonight. You guys are so hilarious.
I'm going to have to go home and read your
Sorry.
comments. I always read your comments.
I'll tell you what Shannon says in just a
Oh,
minute.
Shannon.
I'm sorry.
Oh, my goodness. That's too
I'm
funny.
helping Mike moderate comments while he was fanning. I wasn't trying to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. What did she say?
Okay. Shannon said, I have heard an update on my cookbooks. My husband has given cash to another family member to purchase with their card so I don't find out. He's getting better at hiding gifts every year. So we need to chat after the show, and I will give you a list of names I have narrowed it down to. This detective work is getting harder every year.
That's good.
Sorry.
Leave it to Shannon to say something like that. That is
But
stupid.
we need to comfort. This is a good moment to say 40% off.
Oh, dear.
40% off our Black Friday for the print book.
However you have to do it to get it, you go for it, ladies.
And this is volume 1. This is volume 2. Totally different recipes. And our gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook is also 40% off. And we have our planners at the printers being printed right now. We estimate December 10th. These are not on sale because they're printed here in the United States. But everybody was begging for the planners. And so we have them at the printers right now. And Mom and I are hopefully going down next week to get them. I hope. So, and see Grandma at the same time. Okay. Yes.
Well, and so you can't, I haven't had a steak.
Don't be a food snob is what you're saying.
Yeah. I haven't bought a steak for, I can't even, it's probably been 10 years or more since I bought a steak. And it's probably been at least 6 years since I've eaten a steak. Well, I think I had a piece of Tara's. She had a couple that she did, a piece of Tara's. But my folks took me out 6 years ago. What did she say now?
Now SSH0111 says, have you two been into the communal wine today? I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, back to your tip.
But I know people that have steak every weekend and think that
they have
is
steak every day.
that
I
is
know.
a necessity. And so you're going to have to rethink all of this stuff and give up a lot of, really good food. And then you may have
Well, no, that's just it. You don't have to give up good food. You're going to have to maybe give up some luxury food.
Yeah.
But you can still have really good food without buying the luxury items.
And speaking of really good food,
which Ritz crackers are, Mother.
I know.
I have not bought the name brand. I don't think
know.
ever. I
But
buy
prefer
the
name
buttery
brand.
round crackers.
But I don't feel too guilty because I buy a box once a year at Christmas time. So I don't feel too guilty about it. So you're not going to guilt your mother into anything.
I did. I'm just
But
saying.
another thing too, and it just went out of my brain.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, you're going to.
Or she said maybe it was communal whiskey.
If I was a drinking woman right about this time, I think.
Okay, we have a confession. We actually had to buy booze for Dave the day before
For
yesterday.
his cough.
Because he's been coughing so bad. And no, we haven't been dipping into it, but we actually had to get some for Dave the other day because he's been so sick.
Yeah, I had a
Anyway.
cough like that years and years ago, and my neighbor, I couldn't stop coughing. Nothing was working, and she did drink. She did drink. And so one day she showed up at my door and she said, "You're going to drink this whether you want to or not." And she'd gone to the liquor store and bought me one of those little tiny bottles of, whatever they are. I've never even bought one, so I don't know. And she said, "You're going to drink this." And that's about the first time I ever had anything.
It's not the name brand whiskey. No kidding.
Oh, you guys. Oh my. Maybe we should just sit and read the comments all night.
We're going to see if my new mascara is going to hold. I got a new mascara I'm trying.
That's funny.
Okay. Sorry. Back to where we were.
Unsafe. Well, you may have to save too in other areas of your life. You may have to cut out eventually the kids' sports. You're going to have to take money from other places and help pay for the groceries. The groceries are going to be the main thing. We're of such a mindset. We're so used and comfortable that this is, certain things we have. A big screen TV is a necessity, or fancy new car is a necessity and that type of thing. So we're going to have, now what? This is going to be the longest show.
It's not the whiskey, it's the vanilla. My goodness, that's so true.
Oh, did you know, guys, one time this lady got so mad at us, didn't she?
Oh,
it was horrible.
She was off. She was
Okay.
a Baptist figures. Sorry. I'm going to a Baptist church now, so I can say this. But it's the
We are.
Baptists that are the problem with this stuff.
With the alcohol.
But sorry, go ahead.
And we don't have anything.
And the Bible
against
says
this.
don't get drunk. You see, everyone thinks I'm railing on all these religions. I'm railing on Baptists today.
'Cause we go to a Baptist church, so.
Let me tell you, it says don't get drunk. It doesn't say don't drink alcohol at all. Now, what did this lady say?
Well, I don't drink alcohol at all.
We don't either. But
that's another whole thing.
we were at a homeschool conference, our
And-
first show selling our dining cookbooks.
and we spent how long putting this booth together?
Oh my
Hours.
goodness, hours.
It was just decorated to the hilt, and we had every little thing just set just so perfectly, on stacked on things. It looked like a designer booth, didn't it? We had that thing, the backdrop, the whole table. We had baskets of things sitting in front full of all this different stuff. It was amazing. And this woman came up and she was so mad. We happened to have the book open
the vanilla.
to the vanilla.
How to
and-
make homemade vanilla. Let me find the page for you. Was not this edition? Go ahead while I get the page.
And so she started, screaming and ranting like an insane person and poking on the book and saying, "What kind of a cookbook do you have here? This is horrible. Don't anybody buy this book. She's got alcohol in here."
Right there, guys. There's the booze. You want to see it?
And she was just,
She was awful.
She had this little girl, her daughter with her, that was about 5 or something. And the whole time she was doing this, the little girl was taking and dumping over the stuff in the baskets, knocking the stuff on the table. Everything was just crashing all over from this little girl, just knocking it and playing and doing all this stuff. And I could see the people in the booths across from us and surrounding us. It was just like their faces were looking like a horror on their faces for what this woman and this little girl was doing to our booth. It was the craziest, scariest thing I've ever seen. She was really kind of frightening.
I have never been so mad at another
Oh.
Christian in my life.
Yeah, she was really bad. And I have to say, all the people in the booths around us, they were so kind. And the minute she walked away, they all came over helping, us to But I thought, what kind of a Christian testimony? She was so dogmatic about making sure that people didn't drink alcohol. That's not the main theme in the Bible, that we should get mad and angry. We don't agree on some of this stuff, that's true. But I would never rail on another Christian about, well, you don't believe what I believe exactly like I do on, going to bed at night or something, what time you're supposed to go to bed, or making things up.
Yeah.
And so those are the things that kind of get my goat too a little bit.
Okay, back to groceries. First of all, somebody said Mike's little ditty that he made. Mike, show your ditty. The books. Mike, don't show your ditty, please. Sorry.
Poor Mike's turning bright red over there.
I have to wonder about these ladies today. I don't know. We might have to get the hook thing and take them out.
Okay, now we're back to food. What were you talking about his ditty for? I mean, what were you wanting to?
Sorry. Okay. Is my mascara holding?
No, it's holding up. You're fine. I'll let you know.
YouTube just put a not made for kids thing on our video.
Okay.
Take a deep breath and you can compose yourself. We're fine now.
Can you put the graphic, please, dear? Okay, somebody had a question on the books. It says 50% because it's up to 50%. Our ebooks are 50% and our print books are 40%. That's all I wanted to say. Sorry. Okay.
Do we have any questions yet?
Oh, we've got all kinds of stuff. Go ahead and send it, Mike, while Mom finishes whatever's on her list.
Well, I think I've just lost it totally. So there's just, but the whole object is you're going to have to rethink your life, your thinking. You can't get hung up on, I have to eat only this. I have to have only this type of food. You may not be able to do that any longer come 6 months or even less. You've got to just, and put these habits into practice right now, get started, because you're going to have enough stress in the new year dealing with this, let alone adding new habits to your life. So this is why we're telling you this now, is to get it started. And we have had, if you have done this, let us know. We've had a lot of people that were so excited. They said they did the leftover thing where they used up all their food and they didn't throw food out. And portion size. That's another thing I wanted to mention before we get the questions. Start doing the portion size. And you will probably save 50% if you just do nothing else but the portion size. Make sure you're using the right size portions that you need for that meal. You're not taking me serious, are you?
No, just go ahead.
And well, that's what we've talked about this before, but they've said they've not only saved half on their bill by doing portion size, but they've also lost weight. So New Year's coming up, you want a good diet. Do that.
Stop eating food.
Stop eating food. Yeah.
So someone was concerned because Mike shoved in the garage and we're in the fancy kitchen. Okay, so what you guys don't know is, can the camera twist, Mike, so they can actually see the setup? So what you don't know is we are actually in our big shop, which is 3 garages, I guess. And Mike is on one side there with the big garage door, and Mom and I, here we go. Oops, hold on. Okay. And see, there's Mom and I.
There we are.
So he's actually in the same room as us.
Yeah, he's only about 5 feet away from us.
So we're all in the garage, actually.
We did put him behind a screen, though. We wanted to put him behind the screen. He's got a big screen up there,
and then the rest of it is storage. Okay, I'm sorry.
Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry, Mother.
I'm done.
I don't know what happened to me. I felt good getting my flowers out today. I think that's
you should see she's got all of her flowers out. So
have mercy.
That stuff, those flowers she got.
Yeah, but
That was a job. I don't know.
the ground was frozen.
And it was supposed to be, what, 40 something today?
And it was supposed to be 45, so I thought, oh, it'll be 45. The ground will unfreeze. No. This is Wyoming. It does not unfreeze. So I'm pouring boiling water in my flower beds, trying to get them unboiled. It didn't work. So anyway, okay. Sorry.
Questions. Are we ready?
Kayla says, I just bought the books. I'm so excited. I love this channel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Marilyn Monroe says, I'm working my way through reading the cookbook, volume 1 so far. So actually, guys, this is a book you're going to read.
I know.
People don't know that, but it's actually a book you're going to read.
It was so funny when we first started selling this. People would say they'd sit up all night reading our cookbook when it came in. I said, who would sit up all night reading a cookbook?
So we have the first part where we talk about how to cook frugally, okay? This is volume 1. And then we talk about dinners, and then we have planning your menus, using the recipes in the book,
list,
how to eat better, spend less, and then we have a freezer guide, and all that's at the beginning. Then
time-saving tips.
Then at the
beginning of each chapter, we have a whole list of tips for whatever's in that chapter, like if it's breads or this is beverages, of what to do, how to save money on each one of those things.
And then on the bottom of each page, well, if I can find one. Oh, good grief, figures. Well, good grief. Oh, yeah. So like on the bottom of each page, then we have tips like down here that pertain to either the recipe or tips just in general on saving, and little funny ditties, like
stories and jokes and stuff.
The only difference between this place and the Titanic is Titanic had a band. That's my favorite quote of all times.
And so we have stories and a whole lot of things that, like in the jar mix or the baskets, we go into detail explaining. And at the end of the book, we have cleaning stuff. You know how to clean in 5 minutes, like
Kids
we said last night,
and all those kinds of things. Hello, Kimmy. Kimmy's like, I want what they have. You need to just come to Wyoming. Marilee says, we always go to Albertsons the first Thursday of the month for senior discount day. Between the senior discount and sales, we always save around $100 on our grocery bill. Mm-hmm. They gave me my first senior discount the other day. I didn't even ask for it.
That's not something I'd be proud of, I don't think.
But then a couple of weeks before that, she was like, well, do you qualify for the senior discount? And I said, well, how old is it? And what is it, 55, I think? I said, no, not quite yet. I said, well, I identify as 55. Does that count? Now, if everybody else can be identifying to be swimming on the women's team, the men can be identifying to swim on the women's team. Why can't I be identifying as 55 to get the senior discount?
I know. Not fair, is it?
I think I should. I think I am entitled to that.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
There's
I'm not
some
sure I want to be
discrimination,
identified as an old lady, but if you want to, you go for it.
I don't know why a man would want to be identified as a woman,
Yeah,
but you know,
true. We're really getting off subject today.
Okay. Seek Yahweh and never be afraid says, good afternoon, everyone. I love your cookbooks. It has made my budget and family happy. Thank you.
Thank you for letting us know on this, guys. It really is encouraging.
Heather of the Mountains says, I like that. I should be Tara of the Mountains.
Tara of the Mountains.
I used to be Tara of the Mountains. I did actually live in the mountains. I can't believe I made it live. Christmas came early this year. Yay! Sincerely, Amber says, loving you. Wow, everybody's just loving our cookbooks. Thank you. Such a blessing. So simple, easy, and delicious. Exactly. I don't spend more than 15 minutes cooking dinner. As a matter of fact, one of the more complicated dinners tonight was our potato flake chicken tenders, which I think is in volume 2, and it's on our website. The boys just love them. It took me, well, I know how long it took me because I looked at the clock and it was 3:50, and I had to be getting ready by 3:10, and I was done cooking the chicken at 4:10, and I was done cooking the chicken at 4:05. Exactly 15 minutes. So it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Mm-hmm. And a few years back, there was a show, Meals in 30 Minutes or something like that. A very famous chef.
Hated that show.
And she did,
so complicated.
It was so easy. You can do meals in 30 minutes. And I remember calling Tara and saying,
would
spends 30
minutes?
minutes cooking a meal? Because in our stuff is so simple and easy to do that, we could just slap it together. And another thing too about having quick and easy meals, it's warm. I mean, it's cold now. So when you start doing, I don't know why I'm thinking this, it's not on the subject whatsoever, but when you're cooking a meal to make it so easy, you can just wrap, baked potatoes to throw in the oven. If you've got a roast in there or roast chicken, and just wrap up the potatoes, throw the chicken in the pan. And, if you want to mix up some muffins and throw it in there, that's a big, nice meal. And that doesn't take any time at all to wrap 4 potatoes or 5 potatoes in foil and put them in the oven, and that type of thing.
Well,
So
my grandma was a farm grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. She made the most elaborate meals. And I know she didn't spend a huge amount of time in the kitchen at all.
She made almost like a Thanksgiving meal.
Every lunch and dinner.
Lunch and dinner, both. And besides breakfast, she'd have the full shebang, scrambled eggs, bacon, and
it was toast with butter or jam, or bread with butter and jam.
Mm-hmm.
It was sliced tomatoes, sliced cucumbers. It was a roast with potatoes and carrots that she would put in. She would do potato soup.
Mm-hmm.
It was always simple foods. So
they didn't take a lot of prepping and stuff like that.
D. Parker wants to know, is an electric freezer mandatory? Do you mean to save money? No, but it's helpful. I mean, I lived years without a freezer.
Yeah,
I just used my regular freezer.
I don't have one now myself.
I just use my regular freezer on the refrigerator.
It's one of those things that's nice to have if you got the money to get it. But
I will say, I have probably saved. My freezer was probably, I think, $300 when I got it, and I know I saved that in the first 2 months, just buying extra meat to put in there. So I have probably saved my freezer. Probably it was 10 years old. I would say I probably saved thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars by using my freezer, because I had 4 kids at home, and then 5. And so, it's not mandatory though.
And you might want to think it through. Would it really pay for you? For example, like she said, she had 4 kids. She cooks all the time for the YouTube channel and our website, doing recipes and stuff. So, and she's got teenage boys, and that type of thing. So she has to keep a lot of food on hand. Someone like me, I didn't have a cookbook or the YouTube channel, and I didn't eat the food fast enough. You've got to think about this. If you get a freezer and you keep the food in there and you're not going through it fast enough, then it's not going to be worth it for you. You just throw food out eventually. So think about how much you eat and whether this would pay for your size of family and that.
Yep. Okay. So let's see. I lost it here just a second. Vicky says, I made my own spaghetti sauce before, and it cost me a lot more money than if I just bought a bottle of ragu. So, yes, it does not always save money to make your own homemade things. People think, oh, I have to make my own homemade bread. Oh, I have to make my own homemade cakes. I have to make my own spaghetti sauce. No, it does not save money. First of all, I get my cake mixes and brownie mixes after Christmas and after Halloween for like 25 to 50 cents a box. I got them for 7 cents a thing and 18 cents a thing 2 Halloweens ago. And we've been eating purple and green and black cakes for 2 years. And so it doesn't always save to pay or to make your own things at home all the time. People have that misconception, and it's not true. Homemade bread is a perfect example. You can get homemade bread for $1.10 now, a loaf. Listen, the ingredients are like 50, 60 cents, and it probably costs you like 5 cents for oven electricity time. But by the time of your amount of effort, you can use that time and energy for bigger money saving things, like going to the thrift store and getting polos for Mike for $1 instead of buying them for new, or learning how to sew and fixing a shirt that you have.
Or like you fixed the cabinet the other day,
door. Like I fixed my kitchen cabinet door the other day, and instead of hiring someone to do that. And so making bread, that's fine if you want to do it. I make my own bread all the time. I have no problem with you making bread. But to actually say it's saving money, you may use your time more wisely to do something else.
And the perfect example of homemade's not always cheaper was, now I love the pecan pie recipe in our cookbook. That's my favorite pie in the whole wide world. And I usually make it, but Tara,
I priced pecans this year.
yeah, see,
Guess what? We got a Marie Callender's for $5.99.
so she got a store-bought pecan pie because it was like half the price and none
just
of the
buying
work.
the pecans.
Yeah.
And it actually was
a pretty good
pretty
pie.
close.
Yeah,
I've never had a pie that's
haven't
been quite
either.
as good.
It was pretty good. And so, yeah, it was really good pecan pie. But so you have to kind of balance this stuff out. It's homemade isn't always better. And this is another way of changing things. I love my homemade pecan pie, but if they get too expensive, the pecans, I'm going to have to do something different. So this goes along with saving, too.
Yep. Tina wants to know, I'd like to know where everyone's finding their turkeys for under $1 a pound. In Colorado Springs, the cheapest I find is $1.29 a pound. So it depends on where you live. But I will say that you can't be a store snob. You have to shop different stores. Now, some places may not have them on sale. I don't find avocados for 20 cents in Wyoming like I did in Texas. Okay, so different areas are going to have different things on sales. Now, I've lived in Colorado. We were just north of you. And every single year, and I even think this year, they had turkey sales at King Soopers. And so, because actually Mom and I thought we were going to have to go down for my grandmother. And so I thought I was going to have to buy all my Thanksgiving dinner down in Colorado. So I was looking at the sales to see, sorry, Grandma, no offense. I was looking at the sales, but really people don't think of this. But I knew that I thought we were going to be going down. And so I was checking the sales so I could be prepared so that if we were having to deal with Grandma's emergency, I wouldn't have to be dealing with Thanksgiving while I was dealing with the emergency also. And so you just have to look. You can't be a store snob. Save a Lot in Colorado had them. I do know that Myers had them all over the country, which Colorado doesn't have, but you're just going to have to look at the different grocery stores and see. And then you're just going to have to realize you may not be able to get the same thing for sale in one part of the country as another, but you're going to have other things that are on sale.
Yeah, it's going to balance out. Don't get hung up on this. That's why I don't like the sales prices. That's why I was talking about. We need to get out of the mode that I want to get this on sale that somebody else got on sale or whatever. You have to get out of that mode and realize that you may have other things that you can get much, much cheaper than the turkey, where we couldn't get that, that type of thing.
But at the same time, we have looked at sales all over the country because there's this brilliant thing called the internet now, and you can look at everyone's grocery prices. And we have found pretty much everyone in the continental U.S., I give Hawaii and Alaska, but everyone else in the U.S., including California and including New York, we have found really good deals.
Time and time again,
on pretty much everything.
Because we get people ask us all the time, well, I can't get this here or there. And so we check it out and then we find. Yeah. Or our viewers will pop on and say, well, I live in your area and I was able to get it. So
Ugly Jazz 41 says, well, that's an interesting name. How to freeze extra leftover lunch meat. Thank you. So I just leave it in. If I get it on sale, I just throw it in its package, just straight in the freezer. Otherwise, I just put it in a Ziploc sandwich bag and just stack them up.
Bologna?
Any of them, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what my mom would do, because there was only the two of them, she would take and put a thing of wax paper between the slices and then put it in the freezer. And then she could just go in and pull out one or two pieces or how much she needed.
And use your cereal liners. Save your cereal box liners for that type of wax
Cut that
paper.
up into squares because it's thicker and it works really good for
you
that.
You can also do it between hamburger patties also. All right. Let's see. Shelda says, my freezer is full of 49 cents a pound turkey, but I have room in my pantry for all the items. By the way, downloaded the digital planner and I love it. Oh, thanks. Love your honesty and no excuses approach. Yeah, you're not going to get excuses with Mom and I. Thank you very much. Why? Because we've actually lived through it.
Mm-hmm.
Mom raised 2 teenagers on $500 a month. You can go watch our Penny Pinch and Mama series. But guys, we have actually lived through true poverty here in America. And even in America, oh, don't get me started on this, but we do not know what poverty is in America. Yeah. Even the poorest of the poor in America do not know what true poverty is. True, I don't know where my next meal is going to come from. I haven't eaten for days. We don't understand what poverty is here. We really don't.
And this is why we're kind of preparing you too a little bit to mentally to get you adjusted to this and trying to get you to get into habits, because when the Great Depression happened, there was a period of things where people were kind of
really
wealthy.
Yeah,
they were doing good and everybody was going along happy, you know, with all this good, great stuff that they had here. And within one day, the banks closed and everybody lost everything. Yeah. And what was so sad about it was some were prepared for it and managed to go through it, but others weren't. And the suicide rates were horrendous. Mm-hmm. You don't know the mental stress and strain it's going to put on you when you're used to having all this comfort and things being so easy to all of a sudden have this happen to you. And so we're trying to get you a little bit, get your feet in the water a little bit to get prepared, because otherwise you're going to be dealing with money disaster and emotional disasters at the same time. And it won't, you know, it's not a good thing.
Timothy wants to know, what's the difference between volume 1 and volume 2? They are totally different cookbooks. I just couldn't put them together because it would have been literally a 10-pound book if I would have done that. And so volume 1, volume 2, totally different recipes. If you could only get one cookbook, I would start with this one and then get this one later.
This one has most of the saving, they both have saving, but
all of our digital versions are 50% off and our print book versions are 40% off right now. Guys, that's our best sale that we ever have. We don't, unless we're moving or we have damaged books, we don't go higher than 40%. So you're not going to get a better sale than this. And this only happens twice a year. This is our gluten-free, dairy-free edition, which I made. It's volume 1 turned into a gluten-free, dairy-free edition. Okay. Benita says, I work in a major large grocery store. Shop late night before the store closes or come in early when the store opens. So much is in reduced meat and produce department. Yes, this is one of our huge tips. Shop the clearance. Mm-hmm. In Texas, I would go at night.
In the morning, or like she said, in the evening.
In Texas, I would go at night and shop like at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, because that's when they put all their stuff on sale when we lived in Texas. In Kansas, Colorado, and Wyoming, I go in the morning because that's when they put all of their stuff on sale. Just learn when your store puts the stuff on clearance and ask. Ask the baker, ask the butcher, when do you mark down your meats? And here's another big tip that I don't hear anybody except us, because we're just that good. Say.
You don't have big head here tonight, do we?
Yeah, but have you ever heard anybody say this? Shop after the holidays. Shop after Thanksgiving, and your hamburger and your chicken breasts will be on clearance. Why? Because everybody was buying their turkeys. Memorial Day, the excess hamburger, Memorial Day and Labor Day, the excess hamburger that they bought that they didn't sell for Memorial Day and Labor Day will be on sale. Also, their chicken will be on clearance because nobody's buying chicken. They were all buying their ribs and their steaks and their hamburgers.
Yeah.
So I go after the major holidays. Memorial Day, Labor Day, Easter is a great time to pick up some hams afterwards and extra eggs. I've gotten Christmas is another one, big for hams and turkeys. That week between Christmas and New Year's, oh my goodness, I do not believe in no spend January. I think it's the worst time to not spend.
That's when you should be spending totally.
I get so many good deals, especially on groceries, between December 26th and January 10th.
Yeah.
I just get so many good deals.
I think there's something, maybe bookkeeping something or another. You guys would probably know more. At that time period that the stores are trying to get rid of all their inventory.
Yeah, they have to get rid of the inventory for January 1st inventories.
Yeah, so that's why they're doing that. So that's why it's such an important time to do shopping. So don't do the no spend January. And you know, the no spend January on top of that, that's like saying I'm going to go on a diet this week to lose my weight, but next week I'm going to allow myself to go.
It's like saying a budget actually helps you get your spending under control. It doesn't. It's not the budget that does anything. A budget does not help you save money.
No, it's your mindset and you deciding not to spend. And that's another thing we need to mention. Get out of debt now as best as you can. We're talking about groceries, I know, and saving on groceries, but the most important thing above all else is to get out of debt so that you can have the extra money to put towards the groceries and the utilities when things get really, really bad.
Lori says she made her own scalloped potatoes today and even made the roux sauce for them.
Ooh.
The white sauce. If you guys need a super easy white sauce.
Sometimes that can be intimidating to do a sauce.
But once you realize how easy it is.
Yeah, once you get it down, once you've done it a couple of times, it's really, you'll think, why did I not do this for years?
I am so sorry, guys. We do not ship internationally. I am super, super sorry. The reason we don't ship internationally is because Australia, Canada, the United Kingdom, the European Union all have laws about shipping products in from out of the country that cause us to lose literally thousands of dollars when we were trying to ship, and we just had to stop. I am so sorry. That is why we put our digital products on sale. They're 50% off right now, but we just had to stop. I was literally losing thousands of dollars trying to ship outside the United States, and I just had to stop. And then Australia, when that thing going around hit, would not allow any packages in or out. And so when that happened, I'm like, I'm done. I can't keep, I was spending hours and hours. It was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. And now there's even more laws with VAT taxes and all these other things. And we just cannot have the bureaucratic mess. I'm super sorry, but that's why we do the digital downloads are 50% off. So
I know the cookbook is really great to have, but at least, the digital, we try to have the digital for you.
Yep. Barbara, Tara, as far as applesauce goes as a substitute in muffins, what else is applesauce used in as a substitute? So applesauce is used as a fat replacement, an egg replacement. And in the 80s, 90s, it was a big diet thing where you could substitute the eggs and fat with applesauce. And it works best in baked goods like your brownies and your cakes and your muffins and your quick breads like your pumpkin bread, your banana bread, and all of those. So that's the best way to use it. Marilyn says, I enjoyed seeing Mom eating the Thanksgiving pie with her 2 forks right out of the pie plate.
I think I ate that whole thing almost. Izzy had some of it, but I ate a good portion. I love pecan pie. I really do.
Rachel wants us to show our haul. I will do that. We will do that.
And that reminds me, I just thought of it. I'm going to interrupt you. I'm sorry. You guys were so sweet. So many comments saying that they were praying for me, for when I fell with my tailbone and everything. And I do appreciate it. I didn't get to answer everybody, but I did read the comments. So I do appreciate it, guys. I really do.
Yep. And thank you for Dave, too. He is starting to he got on antibiotics yesterday, and he's starting to turn the corner, I think. He's going to try and go to work tomorrow. So here they wanted to up his hours at work, and he gets sick.
And he gets sick and can't.
Janet B., I missed something. Why are prices going up after next week? So not next week, but the beginning of 2023, they are expecting prices to go up because of higher diesel prices and all the baloney that this administration is doing with our gas prices and all of that kind of stuff. And so they're going to go up just because of that.
See, they're holding off to get us through Christmas. So
they want you in the stores.
They want you in the stores buying all this stuff at Christmas. And as soon as that period's over with, then it's going to
start going up more. Mm-hmm. Joanne said she made the 2 ingredient biscuits and used, that's a new one, cashew yogurt and self-rising flour and had chicken soup, and my family loved it. That's a new one. Never done cashew yogurt before, but I'm glad it worked.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. So in case you're wondering, and the books are 40% off, guys, for the print books and 50 for the digital versions. It is in the yogurts and your sour creams. It's the bacteria that ferments these things on the buttermilk that makes your biscuits and your cakes and your cookies fluffy. Next set, Mike. Elaine says, I bought chuck roast and I cut it thin to pretend it's steak. Yep.
Yeah. And she said she cut it thin. That's another tip that you can do.
You don't need a steak this thick.
And you don't, even your meats and stuff, that goes with the portion size. Cut things thin, the cake small, you don't need the big, if you have a big baked potato, cut it in two for two people to use it. And, and for little kids,
my goodness,
frustrates me to no end to see parents, they take a big spoon, a great big serving spoon, and I mentioned this before, and they put like green beans or peas on their 2, 3, 4-year-old's plate. And they wonder why their kids are picky eater. Their kids aren't picky eater. They're just giving them too much food. If you think about it, that's at least a quarter cup I've seen them scoop for those kids. So here they've got a quarter cup of green beans, more than a quarter cup probably of mashed potatoes, quarter cup of some kind of meat, and maybe some salad. That's almost that's over a cup probably of food for a little tiny stomach. So make sure if your child is refusing to eat, they'll eat maybe 2 or 3 bites of something and then not want anymore. You need to cut back, and they know how much they need to eat, and go along with that. And don't force them to try to keep eating so much.
Yeah.
And it'll save money. Not that you're, saving money on your kids not eating. My kids got to eat everything they wanted, but don't force them to eat.
Yep. Okay, we're answering the big question of the day. Are you ready for this, Mother?
Oh, no, what is it? I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see.
Glenda wants to know. She loves the new set, but have we actually cooked on this stove and does it work? So here's the deal with my stove. We tried getting an electrician in.
Hopes.
We bugged an electrician and we could not get an electrician in. And I was like, I cannot wait for an electrician. I need a set now. No, the stove does not work. So we are remodeling our big kitchen, and the person that's remodeling is actually an electrician. And I had thought about asking them if they could wire it up for us while they're doing my regular kitchen remodel next month. Hopefully it'll start working. The lady said when I bought it for $50, she said that it was working and that they used it just for Thanksgiving for extra. So supposedly it's working. All right. Davis says, I paid $10,000 for a Lincoln MKZ hybrid, and that was 3 years old and only had 32,000 miles on it. Wow. That is great.
Yeah.
There you go.
Show.
There you go. Okay.
You guys are getting this down. I'm really pleased with when you tell us this stuff, because I'm pleasantly surprised you guys are doing good.
And Janet says stir fries are a good, cheap way to eat with chicken or cut of meat. Yes. Take advantage of stir fries. Oh my goodness. We love stir fries. As a matter of fact, I should do that. We haven't done it for a while.
Use your leftovers in a stir fry,
All those bits of chicken that you pick off that nobody wants to finish eating, we put it in stir fry. I do the beef. I do all of it, pork, all of it in a stir fry. And
learn to stretch your meat, in sauces and casseroles and that type of thing.
Yeah.
That helps a lot.
Stretching your meat. Meat is to be used as a condiment, not as a main ingredient.
Yeah.
If you're going to save money on your grocery bill. You get your protein in other cheaper ways other than roasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You get it other cheaper ways like buying chicken thighs, chicken drumsticks when they're 69 cents a pound, 39 cents a pound. Your beans. But,
use filler foods too.
Just
have
fill
the
up
family
with those.
fill up on foods, and just have the meat and the more expensive things as a little bit of a side.
Yeah. Have a taco salad instead of eating
Big old hamburger.
a hamburger, type thing. If you can get lettuce for cheaper. Now
Yeah,
lettuce is kind of high.
You'll just have to
Believe
adjust
me, I know. We just bought 10 heads of lettuce for our lettuce
I know.
test, and I about had a cow spending
You had a
$25
cow.
on lettuce to do a lettuce test. So wait till you guys see that coming up. But anyway, yeah, I literally just wasted 10 heads of lettuce.
It's so funny. I don't think I bought a head of lettuce in the year that I've been here because it's been so expensive. And I just thought, oh, I would give anything to have some lettuce. And you talk about God answering your prayer without even praying for it. Tara comes over and I've got 3 heads of lettuce then all of a sudden that she
couldn't eat them.
Yeah, she wouldn't let me eat them. I had to keep them in my refrigerator
I was
for the test.
testing how to store lettuce the
So
best
every
way.
time I
so if you
opened my-
ate it all,
If every time I looked at my refrigerator, there it was glaring at me.
this is a big tip that C.S. Thompson says, right now I have money for groceries. Our home and cars are paid for. I choose not to buy the more expensive cuts. If you cook them correctly, they are not needed. This is a huge myth that you have to buy an expensive cut of meat for it to taste good. Everybody asks, what kind of roast? Our slow cooked roast, Dining on a Dime.
Cheapest
cookbook.
one you can get.
I don't even look at what kind it is. I just look at the price.
Cheapest price.
And whatever the cheapest roast is that's on sale then, that's what I use.
And they're almost better because they have a little bit more like
Flavor,
fat,
and
so it causes it to be better flavored when you slow cook them. So these are things you've got to, I'm glad they mentioned this because you've got to get out of these mindsets of these old wives' tales and myths that you've always been living with because,
Yep. Shannon says Mike is the great and powerful Oz back there.
Yeah.
Are you the great and powerful? See, okay, come on, Mike, do your powerful Oz impression.
I am the great and powerful. That's pretty good since I haven't seen that movie in all the time I've known Tara.
That's right, because it's from Satan.
Tara doesn't
My
like
children
to
are not allowed to watch that movie.
I'm going to secretly watch it with them.
We always watched it when they were little, and I didn't realize it was scaring the people
I've
out
got
of
to have
them.
therapy for it, thank you.
With those flying monkeys and all those types of things, and the tornado. We lived in tornado area.
It wasn't the tornado. It was the
monkeys.
Evil. See, you guys tell me. I cannot be the only one who hates that movie. That movie was awful. D. Parker said, use a drill for the frozen soil. Why did I not think of that? That would have been...
Because you use a drill all the time for everything. I don't know why you didn't think of it.
It's so easy. Oh, my goodness. Actually,
I've got a big old hunting drill, too. That
although we're supposed to get, snow tomorrow.
3 or 4 inches or something.
Roxanne says she made our banana bread. And now I will say, okay, disclaimer here. First of all, 40% off all our print books. Disclaimer here. I do have the same banana bread in Dining on a Dime Volume 2 as Volume 1. Why? Because I put in 20 different variations of banana bread, and I did not have room when we updated Volume 1 to put it in this one. So that and the muffin recipe are the only same recipes, but it has different variations in Volume 2 for those because I couldn't fit them typesetting wise in Volume 1. So for those of you wondering,
that's another good tip. Remind me of quick breads. If in using all your food, if you have milk that goes sour, look at some of your recipes and do they call for a half a cup of sour milk or a cup of sour milk, and put them portion size in the freezer, that sour milk in the freezer, and then pull it out and you've got sour milk.
Muffins, pancakes, waffles, Nan sugar cookies, banana bread are just a few of the recipes in here.
And so you save money by not wasting that milk, and you also save money because you're not using lemon juice or vinegar to sour the milk with. So
yep. Diane says, I'm wondering, not to be nosy, you have set up a studio for your vlogs. Kind of nice. I know what your house looked like in Colorado, so this reminds me of that kitchen, probably behind. So yes, so we set up the studio trying to make our lives easier, and it hasn't worked. So we're still shooting in here for the lives, and then I shoot some in the regular house for other videos. It just kind of depends, but we're trying to get the setup fixed so we can shoot everything out here, but it's not working at the moment. So Jim says Mike needs a living room set behind you. No, Mike wants a beach set. That's what Mike wants.
Ooh, I was going to say yes to the living room set, but a beach set would be better. You know what? We need to have this show where I can be, instead of in the garage, I can be out at the beach somewhere else, and I could just be moderating for you here.
There you go. I'll be in the mountains and he can be in the beach.
Tara hates sand. In case you don't know this little thing about Tara, she can't stand the feel of sand on her feet or any other place.
All these people think it's so, let's just go walk in the sand. I'm like, let's not, shall we?
She doesn't like the feel of sand.
I went last month when we went to California for our YouTube conference. I touched the sand with my body and the seaweed and all the gross stuff in the water. I'm a crystal clear swimming pool kind of a gal, which is weird because I like nature. I'm a gardener.
You do. Yeah, you don't
deal in
like
horse
crystal
poop all the time.
Clear stuff and anything else.
I'm not clean. So I don't know why. I guess because I can't see and I don't know what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
I don't know if someone's going to bite me or sting me or.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be kind of
put
creepy.
My foot on the sand and a crab bite my toe off. Just saying it happens. People say it doesn't happen, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
Ada says, I made your slow cooked turkey this Thanksgiving as so moist. Thank you.
I think this year we've had more people do that turkey, and I'm so glad because it will really change your Thanksgiving from now on.
Andy says she used the pantry list. Sorry, for inspiration on what to store in her pantry. It is on
In case you don't know, we've got a whole list of the types of things we keep in our pantry. We got a freezer guide too.
It is on page 21. And yes, it is corrected in this version, and it does not say panty. It says pantry. I about died when I saw that.
Her panty list.
Oh my goodness. And on that note, hi Rob. From Little House Off Grid. Oh my goodness. Rob, my son is going off grid in 15 days.
Yep,
He's building his own tiny house. He's been watching your videos. All right. Let's see. Sorry. Lives well in Wyoming says Albertsons and Billings, Montana has higher prices than Sheridan. Yeah, sometimes they do. It just depends on where the same chain will have different.
Yeah, that's why you really can't depend on the sales, the prices. I mean, you need to go add all this other stuff in. And
sorry about that. That's another big tip. It may be worth it to drive. When we lived in Idaho, we drove 70 miles each way to go get groceries because our little dinky convenience store type grocery store was so expensive. It was ridiculous. And as a matter of fact, Mom and I have talked about just driving the 90 miles to Gillette once or twice a year, stocking up on groceries and then coming and bringing them back. It's when I go to Colorado, I stock up because groceries in Colorado are cheaper than they are in Wyoming. So, just look and see. It may be worth a drive. We have friends in Norway, hey, Doran, that drive from Norway to Sweden 8 hours once a year, go back and forth across the border because you can only bring so much at a time. Go back and forth across the border, fill their car and trailer up, and bring it back up to Norway once a year because they save thousands of dollars doing it that way.
See, this is what's so good about this. They figured out a way
to do it.
They didn't.
They're on disability.
They didn't holler about, well, there's just no way I can do any of this. They figured out. They didn't even let the fact that they could only bring so much across deter them. They figured out a way to overcome that. You've got to start, figuring out how, and you'll be surprised. You'll get excited. Your confidence will build up. You'll get excited when you figure out, how can I get this cheaper? How can I save this money? Well, listen to everybody on here. From one little from just even doing the turkey in our recipe, or, the money they're saving on different things. You can hear the excitement in the comments of what they do. And you start building that confidence, and you get better and better and better at it. That's the way you learn to do things.
Andy says her grocery bill went from $250 or more a week for her family of 5 down to $150 a week, including diapers.
Wow.
You go, girl.
Yeah, good job.
I'm telling you, if you follow our tips, you can do it. You really can do it.
You just have to have the mindset and the willingness to go try it.
Yep. Tina says, but not gluten-free bread. It isn't cheaper to buy. No, gluten-free bread. That's why I wrote my gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook, because the bread in here, I tested 40 bread recipes. And let me tell you, it is darn too good, but you have to follow the recipe exactly. Every time people don't follow the recipe, I get an email. Well, I don't understand. I said, did you follow it exact? Well, no, I used butter instead of sugar. No, you have to follow the recipe exactly. When you guys try a recipe out for the first time, any recipe, don't do any substitutions. Make it as the recipe says, because you don't know how it's going to turn out. And so then after you've made it a couple times, then go ahead and do substitutions if you want to keep it.
Yeah.
But
always try our recipes exactly the way it's written the first time. And then later on, you can do the substitution.
Especially for gluten-free cooking. It is $1.25 to $1.50 a loaf to make homemade gluten-free bread versus $7 a loaf.
But this is where you have to figure the stuff out kind of for yourself. See, I was making regular bread thinking I was saving money, because back then we were told if you cook everything from scratch, you're going to save money. I was paying about 75 cents for the ingredients for a loaf of bread when I could buy it for 15 cents at the store on clearance.
Yep.
And I didn't know that. And then I finally, started adding up my ingredients. So you take for different things. Some places it'll work, some places it won't. And you need to do the figuring yourself on each one of these.
Lori says, I heard if you keep your freezer full, it's easier on electricity. Yes, it is. If you do not have your freezer completely full, at least keep bottles of water in there or something. Bottles of water is the best one to keep in there. But it is not, it takes less power to keep it cold when it's full, because all of that cold food is giving its own giving its own coldness to the freezer. And if you keep bottles of water frozen in there, then if you lose power, you've got those in there to
help it last longer.
And then it doesn't take so much electricity to keep your freezer going all of the time.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Marty. Kimberly says, I want a small chest freezer, but I currently don't have one. I make it work with my side-by-side. I play Jenga with the freezer and fit in an unbelievably amount of food. That is a huge myth, that you have to have a separate freezer to save money on your grocery bill. It helps and it's convenient, but it's not a necessity.
And some of you might check out if you're needing a new refrigerator. I gave Tara my old side-by-side refrigerator that came with my house, and it was packed full. I mean, I really had that thing packed. So when my new refrigerator came, I unpacked everything and I put it in my new refrigerator, and I had like twice as much space. And the refrigerator was the smallest, just one step above apartment size, because it wasn't a side-by-side. And I had the longer shelves. I didn't have to juggle and try to play Jenga, that. Because so if you're getting a new refrigerator, you might consider not having most people like them because they got the ice maker and all that in there. But I got rid of my side-by-side because I prefer the smaller, one door.
But I have a side-by-side. Are you insulting my side-by-side?
No, I'm not, because I gave it to you.
Because
I gave you side-by-side. Because a lot of you like the water thing, the ice maker.
Well, I have the side-by-side because I fell when Dave was a baby and I hurt my back, and it hurts me to bend over to look into a refrigerator with the top fridge part on top. So that's why I have a side-by-side. Actually, what I want is just a freestanding fridge and a freestanding freezer.
Yeah, that'd
That's
be
what
really
I want.
nice.
As a matter of fact, I was
Mhm.
thinking about changing my kitchen design again and doing that maybe.
Yeah, but
But
I get
you
tons,
don't need it.
I get tons in my, refrigerator that's not a side by side in the freezer part.
Yeah, you don't need it. Chrissy says, all my meals have been 20 minutes or less. Yes,
Very
I'm
good.
telling you. That's why, 40% off right now, guys. Livingonadime.com is our book sale. Patty, I'm 64-ish. Now, aren't you either 64 or you're not?
I love that.
Does that mean she's 78 and she's 64-ish? And grew up cooking and being thrifty like you guys, yet I still find recipes and tips in volumes 1
Oh,
and
thank
2
you.
that
I'm
help me.
glad.
Who says an old dog can't learn new tricks? Love and use both often. You would be surprised how many people comment that they're over 60, 70. I had an 80-year-old the other day say, thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
They're so easy and I've learned so much. I honestly didn't think that age group would buy our books because I thought they already knew all of it. But we do have a lot of different type tips in there, which we're going to start filming. I'm going through the whole cookbook and I'm going to be filming all of those tips and things beginning in January.
Because you have no idea the different stuff. It's just not a cookbook. It really is.
We have 1,200 recipes and tips in volume 1 alone. And we have 800 recipes and tips in volume 2 and our gluten-free book. So, Laura says, I bought my upright freezer 7 years ago on Black Friday for $75. Wow, that's good. I now live by myself and it's full. Yeah, my aunt that just passed away. Oh, wow, it's been a year now.
Yeah.
Oh, my. She lived by herself and she always had, it wasn't a huge freezer. I have it now, but I mean, it was 4 feet tall by 18, 20 inches wide. And I got that from her when she moved.
And here again, it just depends. You need to consider your situation.
Yeah.
She was 85, 86, something like that. But she cooked a lot for a lot of people. So she needed that freezer. So it was, it was a good deal for her. Now for me, it wouldn't work for me because I don't cook that much anymore. So I don't need it. So just you think about what you need for these things.
Yes. Florida Glitz says, if you have a garden, it saves big time. I made amazing spaghetti sauce right from the garden, 100 jars or more. Yes. If you like to garden, it's good to do that. But don't think you have to have a garden either. That's another myth. You don't have to have a garden to save money on your grocery bill. You don't have to have a freezer to save money on your grocery bill. And you don't have to have coupons to save money on your grocery bill. Really, we do none of those things, or we have done in the past those things. And so those are nice and they do help if you do them or already have them. But gardening canning your own produce can get pretty expensive.
Here again, you need to judge and figure out what the prices are of stuff.
So if you're like me and you love to garden and I still have tomatoes that I'm eating that have been pulled off, green tomatoes, and it's been 2 months now? And I just got the last box out now. It can be worth it if it's something you already do. But don't think that you have to garden. Mom doesn't garden, and she only spends $20 a week on her grocery bill. So Amelia says, we used walnuts instead of pecans for pecan pie, and it tastes just as good.
Have to try it.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. Laura, next set, Mike. Laura said, in New York, I bought ham for 50 cents a pound. Turkey was $1.18 a pound. See? This is an I told you so moment. But New York, California, all these expensive places, I have looked at the ads and found them. And I've had viewer after viewer like Laura say, nope, I found it for really cheap here. I found it for really cheap there. And so you can do it. Muddy Mississippi is going to ask Santa for a Dining on a Dime cookbook.
Oh, it's a perfect
I bet he
too.
will. And it's 40% off right now, guys. The sale ends Sunday. Barbara says we're kindest and sweetest people she knows. She doesn't know us in real life, does she?
Actually, I really think we're just the same, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't think we're any different.
No, Mike's just the same, and we're all
Yeah.
pretty much what you see is what you get, I'm afraid.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying. The Lord is helping me.
We're trying to help her too a lot, but.
And I wonder where my problems are from. Just saying. Maybe it's not me.
It might be everybody else, huh? Oh, dear.
Josephine used to buy her Mother's Day cake after Mother's Day for half price. Actually, that's a great tip. If you have kids that don't live in this, or they're married or whatever, and they're spending the holidays with the in-laws, it's okay to have Christmas after Christmas and buy all their presents after.
Yeah, have it like at New Year's, and then you can get all their presents on sale.
I really would.
You know what I do with my grandkids? I always buy my candy after Halloween. And so on Halloween, my grandkids never get any candy from me because I tell them, you got a choice. You can have one small bag of something on Halloween or 2 or 3 big bags after Halloween because I can get it for so cheap. So,
yep. Lori wants to know, do we have a deal on the cookbooks? Yes, 40% off. If you buy all 3, you just save on shipping, but 40% off is the only deal you're going to get twice a year. We run it for Mother's Day and for Christmas. Otherwise, the lowest you'll get is 30 or 35% off the rest of the year. But if you buy all 3, then it saves on shipping. All right, let's see. Did you send me? Oh, he did. How are you? Are you doing okay?
me? Oh, yeah.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Crescent says, I made your shepherd pie with my leftovers. It's so easy. Guys, I bet you didn't know we have a leftover index in Dining on a Dime cookbook to use all your leftover food. So what we did was we took all the recipes, and when you
we have a tip index too.
And we have a tip index because we have so many tips. Whoops, wait a minute.
Leftover
Here
soap.
it
I
is.
just saw had a thing that's what to
Here
do
it
with
is.
leftover soap.
Right there. And then when you don't know what to use with that little bit of beef or hamburger or
You got a
roast,
piece or two of cornbread. What
Yeah.
do you do with it?
What do you do with
Look
it?
up cornbread
Yeah.
in our index, and it'll tell you. You can
Mhm.
sprinkle it on your chili, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Mhm. Yeah, so we do have that in the book. Used your recipe for copycat Texas Roadhouse rolls tonight. It was a big hit with the family. Thank you, Monica. I would say that's probably my new favorite bread. Sorry, Mom.
Thanks.
Even over the 90-minute rolls.
Thanks.
Oh my goodness, it's
It
so
is
delicious.
good. They are so good.
It's so
As a matter
delicious.
of fact, when I would go there years and years ago, I would just want to sit and eat the bread almost.
Yeah. Kimberly, we got through the shortages of the 2022 with no problem because we asked the individual stores what day they received items, what trucks, and what days. We were able to not suffer shortages. We always had stock, including toilet paper. Yes. Ask them
Don't
when
be
their
afraid
trucks
to
are
ask.
coming
They're
in.
really nice. What do you think they're going to
Yep.
do to you? They won't do anything to you.
I mean, what's the worst they can say is, no, I'm not going to tell you. Well, big whoop-de-ding, you know.
It won't hurt
But
you.
I've never had anyone not tell me.
Yeah, I've always asked too.
And
they'll
like
tell you.
last week, they ran out of hams, and I could have kicked myself. I only got 1 ham instead of the 2. And so I went back and they didn't have any. I said, what day does your truck come in? And she said, oh, it comes in tomorrow morning. I said, okay, I'll be there. Well, I went, and of course they didn't have the ham, but she said they had a limited amount this year. So that makes sense. But I'll go in, and like this other store, they have really good deals on meat. Well, their truck comes in Friday morning. You can guarantee I'm there at 8:00 Friday morning when they open up, because you know why? I don't know who it is. But somebody else is getting there at 8:00. Because a couple of times I wasn't there at 8:00. I was there at like 8:07 and it was gone. So I'm on the ball and I get there early as soon as they open. And if they don't have it out yet, either ask for a rain check or ask if they have some in the back. They pull it out as they're stocking it. They'll pull it out for me.
Yeah, they'll
take.
they'll pull things out for you. Yeah.
So ask them about these things.
They'll cut things up for you. I haven't bought any for a long time now because it's been too expensive, but I love using round steak for my stew. It's Mom's stew in the cookbook, and I really like using the round steak for it. I can use other stuff, but that's the best, but I get it on sale and whenever or on clearance. And I would ask the butcher, I'd say, can you cut this up into little tiny cubes? He said, sure. And they'll take it and cut it up into little cubes for me. It saves me then going home and chopping up my own meat. So ask them to slice and cut things for you. They're really usually pretty good, you know.
Yep. Leslie, do the cookbooks come in spirals? We do not have a spiral version now. That's our old edition. But they lay flat. But they are lay flat binding.
Tara and I remember the morning we sat there practicing because the printer told us this would work just about as good as the spiral.
Yeah. And you can see we're at the end of the book now and see how it lays flat.
They were right, because Tara and I will test all this crazy little stuff out before we will, do it. And we did.
I'm on
because
the very last page now. There you go. And it does lay flat.
It lays flat.
And just so you know, this is not an edition that I use. This is almost brand new.
Yeah.
So I haven't been using
it's not like it's laying that way.
So it lays flat, brand new. Yeah. It's not like I bent it or anything like that. So thank you everyone for praying for Dave. Dave is our one that when he gets sick, he is sick for weeks.
Really bad.
He used to be sick for 6 to 8 weeks, and then we discovered the magic potion that we use now. And he's only sick for a week to 10 days. And it's 10 days, almost 2 weeks now. But now with our magic potion, he's getting better quicker instead of 6 to 8. I mean, it was 6 to 8 weeks he would be coughing.
Oh, it would not go away.
And he would do it he would be sick for 6 or 8 weeks. He'd be fine for 6 or 8 weeks. Then he'd be sick for 6 or 8 weeks.
Constantly.
And he did this constantly in school. As a matter of fact, we were always going back and forth with the school. Well, you can't send your child to school when they're coughing. Okay, well, you're sending me a letter that you're turning me in for truancy, but you don't want him at school because he's coughing. Now, which is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember they were going crazy over that.
Don't get me started on public schools. Okay. I'm not going there. All right, Wanda, I'm looking at the digital planner and it shows 3 covers, but which one is which? So the green cover is the green cover. The polka dot cover is the one with the hydrangeas. And then this one is the tropical right here. So if you guys want our planners, these are not on sale because they're printed right here in the United States. We do have our digital planner on sale for 50% off, but the printer has them right now and he is working on them very quickly. Thank you for reading, Goalie. They love us in spite of ourselves. And hopefully around December 10th, we're hoping we can get them. Is that
the only cover though?
But yeah, for the print version, this is the only cover we're doing right now. We'll have a different cover next time, but this is the only one we're doing for this printing. We're going to rotate through the printings for people.
Got to get my mic on. Okay, I don't know if you saw it. I think it was in your previous list, but Karen had asked about the cost catcher you mentioned. I wonder if she meant the price book.
I don't know what you mean, the cost catcher. Maybe the price book. Maybe the price book is what you're talking about. We do have the digital of our price book to keep track of prices at the store. You just print it off and then you just write in your prices as you're doing that. We need to just get an app for that. But Kenneth says, did you know your family and your books have been an answer to my prayer? Oh, thanks.
That's so nice.
Wow. I hope his prayer was good.
I assumed it was.
Jay Morris says Mike needs a man behind the curtain set. Yeah. What is that? I don't know what that is, but that's what he needs. Yes.
Like it looks like
the Oz thing.
The Oz.
Yeah. Oh, the Oz thing. Yes, we should. We should do that. So look that up, Mike, and show everybody what that looks like, because I don't know what that looks like. I just have a vague memory from my traumatic childhood.
I remember seeing it.
I have a vague flash, but it was so traumatic that I can't bring it up in my mind. Barbara, we want to see your tree decorations. Yes, that's coming up, although today was a huge failure with that. Catherine says, some of us use cabbage shredded in tacos instead of lettuce. It sounds awful, but it truly isn't. And that's how street tacos are served sometimes in border towns. Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very good way to save money, because I actually like cabbage. Do they cook it? I don't know.
Probably not.
I guess comment and let us know. I would think they wouldn't cook it, but
no, they wouldn't cook it.
You don't think?
because you want
All
the
right,
crunchy.
here's the man behind this. Here's the man behind the curtain. Okay, the man behind the
It's like
curtain.
this right here.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh,
I don't know if they can see it. Oh,
yeah.
thinking. That's Mike.
Yeah, if we had one of those
Okay, turn around.
back
let me see.
there by the garage area where I'm working,
Okay.
that would be so cool.
Well, there you go.
Where you have all the little things that you can twist like this and push the buttons and have little flashy things like
Now
like
we
the
know
old
what to
Buck
get
Rogers
Mike for
movies.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Fix him up a Wizard of Oz booth
Oh
back
yeah.
there. Doesn't take much to make Mike happy, does it?
See what I have to deal with. I'm just kidding. It's true. At least he doesn't buy snowmobiles. Anna, I have tried to order your hardcover books, but it never goes through. I don't know. That would be something with your credit card. I don't know.
Or it could be if she's out of the country.
Or if you're out of the country. Yeah, we don't do international orders. So if you're out of the country, that could be why. You have to do the digital version and you'll have to print it out there in your country because we don't ship outside the US. Sorry. Do they have Sheridan Beach? There is no beach in Sheridan. In Sheridan, they have the Winter Rodeo where they go on skis behind horses on the street downtown. Haven't seen that one yet. Last year, there wasn't enough snow and they had to cancel it. So this will be interesting to see if we have enough snow this year. Bonita says, I took advantage of your Black Friday sale. 40% off, guys. I'm hoping that the gluten-free cookbook will help not only myself. Whoops, wrong book. Sorry. But my family with some of our issues. Yes, gluten-free, dairy-free did help me with, and sugar-free helps me with my fibromyalgia. So Barbara says, I can't wait to make the coffee cake from volume 1. Yes, my boys ask for that all the time. Sabrina says she can't wait for the video tips in January. Yes, I'm going to go through and start filming all of the tips in the cookbook in January and making them as shorts and shorter videos for you guys. Connie says, I have all your books and I'm 71.
Whoa.
Well, thank you. I'm glad. Mike, the next one. Linda, Life with Linda. I've learned so much from y'all and I'm 69. Wow. You are an inspiration, Mother.
Have to slap her down once in a while.
Do we have questions, dear? Uh-oh, he's having a moment. Yeah. Oh, now I'm having a moment. I don't know what I just did to my computer. Okay. Oh, that looked bad.
It did. It looked really bad. I've never seen a computer do that before. I don't know what it did, but it wasn't good.
I hit escape. Mike always says turn it off or hit escape. So I did, and it went back.
Undo.
Oh, dear.
Oh, goodness.
Let's see. We may have higher groceries, but your property taxes are one of the lowest in the U.S., Jane says. Yes. So, see, that's what you have to keep in consideration with your towns. So, like here, people in Europe don't understand why people in America have so many cars. Because in America, we can't just walk down to the street, walk down the block, and we're at a grocery store like we could in Europe. In Europe, you literally went every few blocks and there was some sort of grocery store, bakery, meat shop, whatever. Here in America, you can't do that. You have to drive literally miles to get to the grocery store. And so different things are going to save money in different places. So here we save the amount of taxes 3 times our house payment in Wyoming by moving to Wyoming versus Colorado. And so that's why it was worth it for us to get moved to Wyoming. Now, we do pay higher groceries, but honestly, for us, it's only like $50 a month more. It's for a family of 4. That's not horrid by any stretch of the imagination versus saving our house payment's like $1,600 or something like that. So in the long run, that's still not, it's still going to be way cheaper for us to move to Wyoming than to stay in Colorado.
And like I moved here and my house taxes went up and my groceries went up. So it really wasn't beneficial financially for me to move here, but I wanted to be close to the grandkids. But I was in a situation where I could handle it. You know, I'm debt free. And that's one thing about getting out of debt, because if you have to make a choice like that, you've got the money to do some of these things. And sometimes.
Yep. Oh, Angel says, never change. We love you guys the way you are.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you should have said that. Robin says, Jill is the sweetest lady.
Oh, thank you.
You haven't seen her yell.
Oh,
I've seen her yell.
When was the last time I yelled at you? It's like yesterday? No, not really.
I'm just kidding, guys.
Yes.
Actually, we don't yell in our family.
We would never.
I know we're
allow
joking
that.
around about it, but we don't just sit there and scream at each other. We don't. Well, yeah, we don't ever really do any of that.
When we were raising the kids, my husband was not a yeller. I was probably closer to a yeller than my husband was. But even then, we didn't allow the kids to run through the house yelling, mad at each other, hitting each other. We just didn't allow that type of behavior. Weren't cruel or abusive to you or anything, but you just didn't do that. You respected each other and, treated each other.
Kristen says, hello from Minnesota. I was just gifted a bunch of butternut squash. I am so jealous. Used some at Thanksgiving, but have 5 left. Do you have any recipes for hot dishes or soups? Thanks. So I don't have any recipes for them, because how I eat it is I just roast it and I put some butter and brown sugar on it. And it's really good. That's how I eat it. So I eat it hot, just straight out of the oven like that.
Can you freeze that?
You can freeze the cooked squash.
Stuff,
you can freeze and dehydrate the cooked squash also. But squash lasts a really long time. Like 6 months.
You can just keep it as is.
Yeah, it lasts a really, really long time. Jen's Urban Home said, my son is that way. What's the secret potion? Okay, do I tell you guys the secret potion? I don't know if I should share this. No. So I found another YouTuber when that thing going around was happening. And the second time we had caught it, Dave had been sick for like 3 months. It was right after we had moved here. He'd been sick for 3 or 4 months. So I was trying to find anything to stop his coughing. We love you, Dave, but his coughing just never ends. And you're like, the poor kid, is he ever going to sleep again? And so I searched and I found another YouTuber who was talking about the magic potion. He didn't call it the magic potion. I call it the magic potion. But what it is I bought a nebulizer on Amazon. Mike will go in and get a link. Just Mike, can you grab a link for the nebulizer off of the? Are you listening to me? Off of the affiliate. This is affiliate link, but you don't. It's just showing it to you. But we bought a nebulizer, and he said put 1 drop of food grade peroxide, which I also got on Amazon, and 1. Oh, that's why his oxygen was so good at the doctor's office.
He's been doing the nebulizer.
He's been doing the nebulizer. So we took him to the doctor yesterday, and the doctor was totally shocked because he does have mild asthma also. And the doctor was totally shocked that he was like, well, his oxygen's really high. And I totally forgot he was been doing the nebulizer. So he does the nebulizer, and in the little thing, we put the saline vials. We put 1 saline vial in, 1 drop of peroxide, and 1 drop of iodine. And I'll put all the link in there. And then 3 times a day, he does that. And then when he starts getting better, he only does it once a day. And it kills everything in his sinuses down through his throat and ears. And he hasn't been getting as many infections.
Well, what a nebulizer is, he takes, and it's like a little vaporizer that he puts a mask on his face, and it goes straight into his lungs. Yeah, is what it does. It does a vapor straight into his lungs. But it goes through, you breathe in through your nose, so it gets up into your sinuses and then into your ears, and then it goes down into your lungs and up, and so it kills everything along the way. Infection. And now, this is not medical advice. I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. But now he has gone from being sick literally 6 to 8 weeks to
a week to 10 days, 2 weeks. This is the longest since we've been doing the nebulizer. This is the longest he's been sick. And I think he probably has that thing going around again, but we haven't tested him. But I think that's probably what he had again. And so that's what we do. So the nebulizer, drop of hydrogen peroxide, a drop of iodine with the saline thing in there. And Mike, I'll share the link with you. That's an affiliate link. So you could see.
Link and I realize now it says unavailable.
Oh,
it says.
well, they can see what it looks. He'll find one that's available, but you can see what it looks like. But asthmatics use it a lot, and so yeah, that's what the magic potion is. That's what I call it. That's not what it's actually called. It's just Tara being Tara. Okay, let's see. Are you doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
True Joy says, I feel left out because I have the anniversary volume 1. You got a collector's item. So no, you got something special that's never going to be printed again. So I better take it. If I die, put that on eBay and you'll get $20,000 for it. So
the anniversary has all of our pictures and stuff in it. Yeah, anniversary has
so I
pictures
better take advantage of the sale and get the big book to go with my volume 2 and gluten-free books. Yes, you should. Because we're trying to pay off our house. Okay, let's see. Let's see. That's what I nebulize when I start getting sick. Yes. So now, as soon as we start even having a hint of getting sick, we all get on the nebulizer. And let me tell you, the third time we got that thing going around, it knocked it for all of us. Mm-hmm. It really did. Dave did linger longer than us, the rest of us, but it was only 3 or 4 days past the rest of us. When before it would have been 6 or 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm. It did help.
I swear by it now.
Cut it. Yeah, it cut it.
As a matter of fact, that's in my stockpile because I'm like, that's something that I think I'm not a medical doctor. But medically, I think that is something that would help people a whole lot more than a lot of other
You're
stuff.
going to need to get things like that because I don't think medical, help is going to be as easy to get as what we're used to.
Lee. Well, somebody in Wyoming, I did think I pronounced it wrong last time. Why don't you shop in Montana, no sales tax? Because when we go to Montana, we do. When we go to Billings, we do fill up the car. We go to Winco and fill up the car with groceries. But the amount of sales tax saving is not equal to the amount of gas at the moment for the amount that we stock up because I don't have a trailer or anything. So we just put it in our car and I don't have a big car. So if I had an SUV or something, well, the gas would be more. So I don't know if it would actually save or not. But we do when we have to go to Billings.
Yeah, we do.
We do
make sure we
up.
Get stuff. Mm-hmm.
So, but here in Sheridan, there's no food tax. There's no sales tax on food.
No.
Mm-mm. Here in Sheridan. I don't know if that's a Sheridan thing or a Wyoming thing. I think it's a Sheridan thing.
Could be, yeah.
But there's no sales tax here in Sheridan on food. Mm-hmm. So, but the food is cheaper at Winco in Billings. So we do stock up then. All right. Let's see. Do we have anything left else, dear?
Do you want a couple more?
Okay. Throw me the last couple. Mike's looking for another nebulizer guy. Which book?
I already shared it.
Okay, Mike already shared the nebulizer that's in stock. Which book is Jill's gingerbread recipe in? It's not because it's a secret.
It's my business. It's been my business. So that's one recipe. That's the only recipe.
But it's not your business in Wyoming now.
Well, and I haven't got it started going yet.
Maybe we should sell it for $100
each. Sell my recipe for $100 each to people. So that's the only recipe that
is not in the books.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it you put in the nebulizer? Amelia wants to know. 1 drop of hydrogen peroxide and 1 drop of iodine. Now, me and a couple of other family members can't handle the iodine, so we just do the okay, I told you wrong. Hold on. The little saline.
It comes with.
Well, no, you have to buy the little saline packets. Little saline. Just type in saline for nebulizer. I'll put all this in the link after we're done. The little saline tubes is what I'm trying to say. Saline tubes. So 1 saline tube, 1 drop of peroxide, and 1 drop of iodine. And if you can't handle the iodine, just take out the iodine and just do the peroxide.
Yeah, see, I didn't use the iodine.
Yeah. So some people can do iodine and some people can't. So, okay. And I need to just do a video on it, but it's one of those things where you're like, okay, are people just going to be, you know how people are now. Deborah says, my credit card work. I purchased 10 cookbooks. Wow. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Well, there you go.
Wow. Thank you. That is
All
something.
Right. Andrea, will we have to Get It Together People financial planner anymore? I don't know. I was trying to decide if we should reprint those and the price book again. I don't know. I was trying to decide. So I don't know. I was just thinking about that. It's funny you mentioned that. Do you save more money shopping at Costco's or Sam's or only buying on things that sale? You save more money by not going to Costco's and Sam's and just buying things on sale.
See, that's when people keep saying that they can't get the better prices and stuff. Costco has some good prices, but you can get almost the same type of stuff on sale. And you do that. If you go to Costco, just get what's on sale at Costco or special and that you can't find
what
anyplace
you actually
else.
Save money on.
Yeah, what you can't find anyplace else. Don't get anything else there. Go to the other places and get what's on sale there.
Costco's not about saving money.
No,
it's about the glitz and glamour.
Yeah, what happens at Costco, though, even if they have things a little bit cheaper, most people that go there, I can almost guarantee they're going to come out with huge amount more than what they just had planned in the first place. You know, you test those samples, they taste pretty good, so you get a box or 2 of that.
Those sun-dried tomatoes.
Or you see this, they have everything displayed in such a way to, I didn't know they had flannel shirt. I kind of think I should get the guys a new flannel shirts. You know, those are a good price for flannel shirts. And you have to really know your prices too, because we use the example, the first time we went to Costco, these gals were literally running to the Clorox, to the bleach. Oh, look at how cheap this is. It's so wonderful. And they were grabbing up this Clorox that was packaged with 2 together. And it was $2 for this 2 gallons of Clorox. And this is so wonderful.
Well,
Tara and I just come from Walmart and bought Clorox, and we paid 98 cents.
Yep.
So getting 2 of them for $2 was not a good deal. So you have to know your prices. So be careful at Costco's. A lot of people love it.
I will say, before that thing going around went, I got a Costco's membership just to do some videos. And I did find the trash bags were cheaper. The toilet paper was cheaper. And the laundry soap was cheaper. So those 3 things, you actually did save money on them. But was it worth the membership? Probably not. If I wasn't doing videos, I probably wouldn't have a membership. I don't have a membership now because we're never around at Costco. So we don't go to Billings that much.
And would you just get those 3 things if you went there?
Yeah.
You know, would you see something and buy something
Sam's,
else?
I have never shopped at Sam's, so I can't tell you. I have people who say it's cheaper, but I don't know that I believe them.
Sam's is exactly pretty much close to Costco. It's the same type of situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Carolyn got 12 pounds of lean ground beef on clearance yesterday at Fred Meyer's for $1 a pound. I cut my grocery bill so much lately by using our grape tips I've learned from you all. Thank you.
Oh,
yes. It's after Thanksgiving. Ground beef is going to be, if it wasn't already, sometimes the week after it will go on sale, because then it's starting to expire and people haven't bought it yet and they have to get it gone. So I said go the day after the holidays, but actually it's about a day to 10 days, because then you can start getting some 90% when you start getting 10 days out, like I did on my last video. And so that 90% can really start saving you a lot of money when you're doing that. So, all right, let's see. Yeah. Rosa says, I've never understood the concept of paying to spend my money. I know. I can't get over that.
To buy a membership for something. Same way telephones you used to have, and credit cards. People used to pay for credit cards to belong to certain credit cards.
Ooh, Amazing Grace says, today at the grocery store, they had a 60 pack of eggs for $4.79. I hope you bought all they had.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
That's
wow.
good.
Okay. Kay gave us a super chat. $19.99 for the gingerbread recipe bid.
Do we hear 20? Do we hear 25? 25, 25.
Do we hear 20? Do we hear 25? I will tell you though, this is not the recipe. It's not the recipe, but it's closer. It's not the recipe,
No.
but the
Mine have totally different flavor than any other gingerbread you've ever tasted.
well, let's see.
As a matter of fact, we had somebody visiting this past weekend and she was eating the gingerbread. She said, I hate gingerbread normally, but she was just inhaling mine because it's not even the same flavor.
I keep telling Mom to ship and she won't ship.
Well, I would ship as soon as I find a container to ship the things in.
I keep telling you that's not that hard.
And I haven't found it yet. Because what happens is it's got frosting on it. And so I got to find a way to keep it from rubbing the frosting off.
You shipped them to Jonathan.
Yeah,
They got there good.
but I spent 30 minutes packing Jonathan's thing up.
Well, I think we can. Okay, where is
Look at
the-
that cookie.
I know.
Oh,
Where is the recipe?
I don't know which
Oh,
one.
here. Okay, this is not the recipe.
Oh, no.
it's not the recipe,
Not
but
at
it
all.
is sort of similar. It's
It's-
page 351,
yeah.
the honey spice snaps right there.
It's along that same line
It's
as
along
spice cookie kind of.
That line of a cookie. That's
If
not
you want
the
a
cookie.
spice cookie.
That's not the cookie. But if you like spice cookies, it's kind of a similar type taste. So it's not the same. Fluffy Otter says she'll give you 25. There you
I
go.
only give it to immediate family members. That's all who has it. And they have to take an oath that they won't give it to anybody else. Because I gave it to a family member years and years ago. And I asked her, please don't give this to anybody because it was, my business type thing. And then like the next year, she put it in a county cookbook. I couldn't believe it. The only thing was she thought she was one of these people that always changes a recipe whenever she gets it. And so she changed it just enough that it was totally different.
She's bidding.
Oh, Mary Beth.
Selling it to an American.
Sell it to American, Mary Beth. Oh, dear. I wish I could
I'm
send them
telling
to
you.
you guys because I so believe they taste so good that I feel guilty not,
Jennifer Weber wonders if you'll marry her when you give her your recipe.
That's good, Jennifer. I
And
love
Dee
it.
Parker wants to know which county. When she
Oh.
dies, I'll post it on her tombstone.
Yeah. That way I'll have visitors, I
Then
won't be
she'll
one
have
of these
somebody
little,
visiting
I
her
won't be one of
tombstone.
these little old ladies that gets buried and nobody ever goes there.
They'll need a ladder to get that high up on the tombstone to see it.
Oh, I know.
Oh, you got to go on and say that. Go on and
Go.
say that.
You gonna tell them?
I said, whoops. I said you'll need a ladder.
So hold on. Well, they don't know the story. So Mom says that when she dies, she wants this like 20-foot monument for
No
her
funeral,
tombstone.
nothing. Just give me a big
She just
tombstone.
wants this mausoleum for her tombstone. So go ahead,
I
dear.
tease.
So I just said you'd have to get 20 feet up on the monument to see where the
The
recipe was
recipe.
inscribed. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's a good idea. Jen says ship them with the icing separately.
And have people decorate it themselves. Yeah, I could do something like that. Now that would work. I could do that.
Actually,
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling
I
you.
should. Maybe I'll have to do that next
I'm
year.
telling
That's
ya.
a good idea.
Now everybody's going to be looking in all the county cookbooks.
I
Uh,
don't think they'll find this county, do you?
Tara, do you have the Swedish pepper cook or cookie recipe? I know
Oh,
I
I know
spelled that
what
wrong. I know which ones you're
I
talking
know
about.
what you're talking
I
about.
don't have the recipe, but I love those things. And I was thinking about making some this year because I really, really love them. But yeah, that's a really good recipe that I like. But we have Swedish creamless though. In volume
Yeah,
one, we do have creamless in here.
Creamless in there.
My grandma's best friend was Swedish, and she gave her the recipe, And so we have that in
It's
there.
an old recipe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
70
a really old
or more
recipe.
years old. But
All right,
that's
so
our favorite cookie.
so if mom ships the icing separate, who's going to buy her gingerbread men? Let's see. Do we have anyone who will buy her gingerbread men if she ships the icing separately? I don't. There's still time. It's only the first. It's only the first. I'm telling you. Nobody's buying them.
Nobody's buying them.
They're,
Going once,
Renee
going
says
twice.
she will. See, the problem is, Diana says she will. See, the problem, and Marcy. See, there's delay. That's the problem. The problem is they're all tightwads. So they're like, why
so
should I?
you
No, but
shouldn't.
Debbie and Victoria and Penn and Saved by Grace, Cheryl, Jennifer, Janine, Jim. Ooh, maybe Jim is single. Maybe you could get Jim with your gingerbread
with my
men.
cookies. They
Fluffy,
really,
actually, a lot of people would.
they really are
Wow.
good. I've had people buy like, I've had up to 50 dozen. People buy 50 dozen of the silly things. They are. I never realized how good they were. To the first guy I ever sold them to, I sent home 3 dozen with him, and he hadn't even been gone 20 minutes, and he called me. And was having a Christmas party. I think it was the next night or something. And he said, I don't know how to confess this to you. I don't know what to do. He said, can I get 3 more dozen by tomorrow night? Because he didn't know how long it would take me. And I said, well, yeah. He said, I have to tell you, I ate all of them on the way home. He opened up the bags and started eating them. He ate 3 dozen cookies driving home.
Actually, I know if you vacuum sealed them and then pack them in that paper, they would get there just fine.
But when I vacuum seal it, it crushes.
No, I mean if you ship the stuff.
Oh yeah, it'll work if I ship the frosting.
They won't
different.
break if you
Yeah.
do that.
No,
and
they
then you
wouldn't.
could sell the big ones or the little ones.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even have to vacuum seal.
Can you put the picture on there, Mike, of the big ones?
Wait, I didn't hear you.
Oh, maybe I have it on here of Mom's gingerbread men from the big ones. So she has big ones and she has little ones that she makes. And the big ones,
I still can't believe
yeah.
they sold higher than for my quilt.
Sorry.
That's why I never sold quilts.
So, okay. So right here is the big one that she sells. Right there.
There's a boy and a girl. That's the girl.
That's the girl.
I do a boy and girl. The boy's in blue.
Well, you don't have 2 molds for different.
No, but I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
do.
Sorry, I was
No.
like, did I miss something?
No, I've got the same.
Back to the beginning of the show. Just saying.
My children.
Sorry. Here's the small ones. So these are the small ones that she sold by the dozen, and they're about that big.
Yeah. They're close
And then
to
the
about
big
2
ones
inches.
are like this big.
They're
Not
about-
quite 10 or 12 inches.
They're 11 and a half inches,
They're
depending how they bake up. 11 and a half to 12 inches.
Sorry. Okay. Oh, see, now everybody says they would buy them. I'm telling you. Cat liver. Oops. Wait a minute. I can't. Let's see where. Oops. It's going so fast now. I can't. Where did cat liver go? Oops.
Did Jennifer eat my? I took gingerbread men. Did
5 big ones and 1 quilt.
Cat liver wants to know how much for 5 big ones and 1 quilt.
One
That's
quilt.
funny. Did you send some? You didn't send some to Jennifer, did you?
No, but didn't I have a tray of them when we had a meetup or something? I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, Jennifer. Did you eat them?
Did I
Was
have a tray of those at the meetup?
Maybe.
I know Donna. I think Donna and Dan had them.
I think we gave Donna and Dan some.
Is that what it
Didn't we?
was?
Well, I don't know.
Can't remember. Any of you that went to the meetup in Mead that time? Did I have
don't know.
put the gingerbread men out there? I don't remember.
See, we've got a Christian dating service going here for you. Mary Beth says Christian dating service on the side for Jill.
Oh, that's good, guys.
Please take her off our hand. No, just kidding. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
Goodness.
Where's the link to order? Everyone wants to know. She says your gingerbread men are non-binary. identify as a gingerbread man. Oh my goodness. Okay. 40% off our cookbooks, guys, for our Black Friday sale in Sunday for gluten-free, dairy-free volume 1 and volume 1 and volume 2, 40% off. And if you want our planners, they are at the printers right now. These are not on sale because they're printed in the US, but these are really high quality, almost 400 pages, right at 400 pages, 365-day undated planner. It's the undated version, but I've sold around half of them. I've sold, I think, around half of them. I didn't check before we got on the show. So if you want them, grab them. We estimate shipping around December 10th, give or take a few days, depending. But oh, wow. We're just really going down the toilet here. Only one form. Do your gingerbread men identify as a gingerbread woman? My goodness. You know, you could take this so many ways nowadays. It used to just be a gingerbread man or gingerbread girl. And now you could just get... Oh, see, now instead of 40% off when you buy a book, you get a thing of gingerbread.
Oh,
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right, guys, visit us at livingonadime.com. Thank you for joining us.
We love you
We
guys.
will
Bye-bye.
see you next time. Bye.
Oh, dear.